Alright, and today we're going to talk about reed placement. So far you've put your clarinet together and we're missing one important part, which is our reed. In your case, one of the first things you can do as while you're assembling the rest of your instrument is find your reed. It'll be in a plastic case. Take it out and you'll notice there's two parts to the reed. There is a flat part at the bottom and a rounded part at the top. Take the top part, put it in your mouth, and you want to have the reed good and wet. You can put the entire reed in your mouth, but at least get the top 3/4 of it good and wet or it won't make any sound at all. Next, what we're going to do is to practice putting it on, we're going to take off the barrel and the mouthpiece. So untwist it and carefully lay your clarinet back down in its case while we work on how to put your reed on. The top curved part is very thin. It's paper thin. If you hold it up to the light, you can see through it. It's very easy to crack this part of the reed, have it just have a little dent out of the top of it, and then it won't work at all. But not to worry, you can buy new ones at a music store or see me if you're in trouble right before band class. What we're going to do is work with the barrel and the mouthpiece. You'll notice that on the top mouthpiece is a ligature. This metal piece right here also has two parts. If you try to put it on this way, it won't fall down carefully. Don't jam it down. Rather, pop it down just like that, and it fits directly underneath the area of your mouthpiece. What we need to do is put the writing part of your reed, which is also flat as opposed to the curved edge of it. The flat part will go on the flat part of the mouthpiece. What we can do is lift our ligature up and very carefully slide the reed underneath the ligature so that the flat part lines up with the flat part of the mouthpiece. When you have it lined up, just like that, and our ligature is on the correct direction, what we're going to do is, keeping the screws face towards you and right on top of your reed, we're going to make sure that we pull the ligature down on top of the reed so it's snug and it holds the reed in place. The reed needs to vibrate and move to make a sound, but we only want the very top part to be able to move back and forth. The bottom part needs to be firmly in place. Now the next part that's very important is how far up to have your reed. And your reed, you want to have laying on top of that, but with just a very tiny bit of black at the top. So it should look like this when you pinch it. You can see a very little bit of black. If you have the reed too far up that you can see it from the other side of it, that's too far. And if you have it down so far that you can see a large bit of black, then that is also too much. So we want just a bit of black at the top. When you can see that fine hair of black, you're going to pull your ligature down snugly in place on top of the reed, and you're going to firm up the screws by tightening them to the right. Nice and firm. You've got your ligature on top of your reed, on top of your mouthpiece. Now we're going to continue. If it's on the right way, and if it's still good and wet, if it's taking you a while to put your reed on, you may have to lick it again just to make sure it's good and wet. And we're going to go ahead and talk about how to put your mouth on the reed and mouthpiece to make a sound come out. First of all, we never want to put our teeth on this reed, so we're going to use our lower lip as a pillow. The pillow in this case is going to go right over our bottom teeth, like this. Doesn't have to be brought in real far, or doesn't have to be like that. Just a bit, and we can rest the reed, the very tip part of it, right on this pillow, like that. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to take your two top teeth, and just a small way in from the top of the mouthpiece, we're going to rest our two top teeth right there. Another way to practice this is if you bite your lower lip like this, not too hard, like that. That's the same feel it will be when you put your mouthpiece in like this. Now you're going to pretend you just ate a lemon, something bitter, and you're going like that. Small amount of air with your corners locked and all like this will make a squeaking sound like this. And when you can get a good sound like that, show your teacher. The next step will be to twist it back on your clarinet. And of course it makes a much nicer sound when it's attached to the entire instrument. Next lesson will be about where to put your fingers so that you can play the different notes on the different keys. Thank you. Try this on your own.